Welcome to day three, Simulation Sandbox. Here is Frank Alonso, our CEO.
Intro, Steve. So we are Transfer Thought. It's a no-code platform for making VR training. If you can make a PowerPoint, you can make VR training. And we're going through our launch week, day three. We released Transfer Thought 1.0. And if you missed day 1 and 2, you can check it out at transferthought.com/launch week. Each day we'll be posting a recording. Day 1, it went live and you can watch the recording. Also check out the help docs. Yesterday we went over the asset mega bundle where we have lots of ready-made assets that you can try out. And today we're going to be looking at events and actions. Basically advanced simulations and build out a sandbox within an environment rather than just having a linear flow. So with that, I think we can jump into it. Keenan here is our CTO, and he'll be showing some of the technology. Maybe you can show just the end result first, and then we can jump into how you can set that kind of thing up.
Yeah, let me hop in. And just to to add to what Frank was saying, previously with Transfer Thought, it was kind of more that PowerPoint structure where everything was built with steps, where you'll have one slide followed by another slide. And we just got a lot of requests about building out a way to let the trainee discover a little bit more on their own. So that's what this was really about, was just opening up the sandbox for them to explore on their own. So let me just take a look. This is, if you missed yesterday, this is one of the environments that's just kind of out of the box. So let me just go ahead and refresh this and we'll see just a simple example of what's possible now. And then we can jump into the editor and see how it's built, and maybe add another one. Or another example. So I'll just go ahead and hit play. And I've got mine muted just so I can kind of talk over it, but there is text to speech going on, letting the trainee know to just kind of explore their training environment. So they're kind of just prompted to take a look around, and I'm on my laptop right now, so I'm kind of looking around using my mouse, but this could easily be on a phone or a headset. So kind of the first thing I noticed here was if you're learning about a new environment, maybe you're curious about what some of these warning labels are. So you can kind of prompt and just look in and get a little bit more details about what these things are and mean. And again, this is just kind of a demo, so nothing too in depth there, but we can always add to that and we'll jump into there. And maybe you want to hear a little bit more about what this is. We have an opportunity to do that, or if you just want to jump to another location in the setting, you can do that too. So now I hopped over to this location, and there's nothing here yet, but we could easily add more information and things to explore over here. So let me that's kind of the basics of it. So let me just hop over to the editor.
Yeah, so in the editor, you can kind of see this workflow on the left of steps that you would progress from the top down, kind of like a PowerPoint with slides where we start on step 1 and you do something and move on to step 2. And for a lot of training processes, things like that, you need to do stuff in order. And what we're showing today is that on some of these steps, like this step 1, there's things you can do that might change your environment, but not progress you in the training. You're not moving forward in a process, but you're adding sandbox-like features where they can, look in a drawer, check under something, just kind of freely explore a certain environment. rather than linearly moving through. The other thing we were showing was the kind of a pick your own adventure type aspect where you can jump from, this step 1, jump to step 5. So that can come up in situations where you want to show consequences. For example, if they don't grab the right PPE, or they didn't grab the PPE, then they might go to a step that shows, something bad might happen. So you can have the story branch off in different ways. And then once they go there, maybe it explains why that happened, and they jump back to step 1 to restart the story. So this lets you create more of a web. But yeah, I just wanted to jump in there. Go ahead, Keenan.
Yeah, I think that's a good example of showing the consequences, or maybe even when there is a particular order something has to happen in, maybe allowing them to make that mistake. I think is kind of what Frank was alluding at, is that let them make the mistake and then show them what the mistake was. So now that's all possible. So I can hop in here. What I'll do is just kind of show an example of how these work, and then I can add another one. So this was just if you were here yesterday or saw yesterday's video, this was one of the icons that's just comes available. So I went for magnifying glass and then added that in there. We don't have to do that now, but this was just an asset that was in there. So this could have been anything. And then when you add it in there, you have this special icon to edit the prop options. And here you have a lot of event handlers that you can use. So you can run an action when somebody clicks on something, when they hover it, when they are done hovering it, and then even more finely tuned, like something on mouse down and mouse up. So what I did was I added a action, which was go to a selected step. And the selected step that I chose was high voltage. And over here on my left-hand side, you can see that this is the third step. So when they click on this action or on this this icon, we basically just jump them over to this step, and just like before, or just like a PowerPoint, it'll run through these next actions until it gets to this step, which will hop them back to the second location. And that's a similar thing with this kind of the tour based or like the hopping from one environment to another environment. And I'll just show an example here. Same thing. When you click on this, it'll go to a selected step, but instead of going to the high voltage step, we'll hop them into the new location step. Yep. So that you can see down here is step 7. So there we could add, we could add more things for them to do. So once they get to that location, we could add in more information, more things to discover, a way to hop back to the original location. Everything there could be done. Right now, it's just kind of a blank environment. And yeah, I could easily add, I think I was starting to add a little bit more information, maybe when you want to learn a little bit more about what these are, you can do the same thing. Click and have them jump over. I kind of started a new section here. So I'll go to a selected step and have it be electric substation. So now, just so we can hop back here, in this current version, clicking on this doesn't do anything because it doesn't have anything set. But once I publish, hit publish, now it should hop me to that title. Yep. So I don't have anything in there. I just kind of have that step set up, but this could easily be, anything you would want about this details about this section.
So you can have a lot going on with just one step in a transfer thought. You can build out more of a like simulator rather than a training process. And I guess just to bring it a little high level, this is going to be on we have a number of step types. These features would be on the set environment step type. Basically, you define the setting, and now you can have that setting have lots of interactive pieces to it. So when you're building out this list of steps, you can think of the set environment as defining the setting, and then any trailing steps that come after it are moments in time that would occur in that setting. The other thing I think we should show is the avatars and animations, or even animation on a text.
Before you get to that, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Please jump in.
Okay, so I'm looking at this scenario, and if I click on one of these electrical devices, I'm going to get electrocuted. Okay, and the reason is I didn't put on the proper protect. I didn't turn the power off. Okay, so what I want to create in this scenario is, I'm asked to service one of these power poles. Yep. And I go to click on it and I get electrocuted. That was obviously the wrong answer. So yep. now I get to try again. All right. What I should do is I should go to the power switch. Now, obviously there's going to be a hot link, a hot button on the power switch. So when I click on that, the hot spot that was on the power device is going to disappear. And underneath it is another hot spot. So when I click on it, I now get congratulations. You've taken the proper steps. So basically, I need to have overlapping hotspots. I need to be able to, when I click on something, I need to be able to hide the one on top. So then when I follow the proper sequence, I'm going to get congratulations. You completed the assignment. Is that possible?
Yeah. So that would be kind of linking a few of these together. So I can I'll start from I'll clone this step, and we can start from the bottom just as a brand new step. So I think basically what I'm seeing is if you're exploring here and maybe you want to give them some instruction, like in this environment we want to make sure however you want to do your training, like give them some instruction on what to do and why they're in the training, and then let them explore. And if they click on something that we put over here, maybe there's two options. We can delete some of these because we don't need them anymore. But if we put in just something for them to click, let me just do, I think that we have you can upload any image that you have too, but I just want to get them something to click on the spot here. Let's do this light bulb for now. So maybe you have one option here that, clearly this is an option they would want to do. And instead of this being the right answer, you would link it out to a certain number of steps that are the wrong answer. So I can build that now. So we can do like, you need to turn off the switch. Not quite. So now this step is kind of our placeholder for the wrong answer. So I can go ahead and set this example to be, when they click on this, we'll go to, you need to turn off the switch. Okay, so now that part's set up. So the next part would be making, like we were saying, clicking on this, turn off the power, let them do that. So what I'll do is I'll add another icon. But this can be an image or anything. We also have some invisible ones, but I'll throw in just another light switch.
And something to add while you're doing this is there's also, depending on how advanced you want to get it, there's a state of the entire transfer thought, your simulation that you're building. So you can have any of these interactive elements set the state, like the power grid is off all of a sudden, and that could affect other things in the simulation. Now, I would kind of package that as we're starting to get more advanced then. Right now, Keenan's focusing on really one-to-one actions. You do something, it causes something else. Once you start setting up listeners, two different conditions, it can start to get messy, but it does raise the ceiling on what's possible.
I come from an instructional design perspective, so I'm used to putting a lot of different things on the same slide. And then if I click on this, I could hide something. If something is hidden and I click on something, I could reveal it. And that provides a lot of interactivity. So I can see you putting things on the screen, but do I have the ability to hide and reveal different things?
Yes. So there is, as long as you're adding, so if you're adding to like let's see, if you add things into the scene, so the environment everything is kind of baked into here. So this image right now, or this thing right here is baked into the scene. So you can't really hide or reveal that without, doing some like Photoshop and making, hiding it in the image and then making another image where it's visible. What you could do is you could add in a cutout of one that now becomes almost like you can mess with it. We don't have one of these cut out right now, but we could do that.
Well, what I'd like to do is when I click the other light bulb, see this is the wrong answer light bulb. When I click on this light bulb, I like to hide the other light bulb because when I click on the other one, I get electrocuted. Okay, but being that I turned the power off, that light bulb should disappear, and another light bulb should appear that's going to say congratulations, now you can service this because the power is off.
Right. So when you click on this light bulb, it should turn the power off.
It should turn the other light bulb off.
Yep. Okay. So let me
you should hide that. Yeah.
Yep.
Right. And we've been doing similar things. Like a popular kind of template is Easter egg hunt. And this comes up a lot in safety, is just hazard recognition. So say something like, hey, there's 10 hazards, look around and find each one. And as you click them, with what we're showing, events and actions, you could have a kind of a positive sound play and also have it disappear, maybe even show a quick like poof or something, depending on how much you want to dress it up.
Yep. So let me just show this. Now we can look at it and then we can make some refinements to it.
We're also focusing purely on the no code side of it today, where you can just wire these things up with the menus, but there's also the ability to insert code at any point if there is some limitation and you want to trying to think of something very advanced, perhaps a fine movement that they're supposed to make with their hands if they're wearing a VR headset. You could use an advanced interaction where you insert code to achieve that as well.
Yeah,
I guess basically I was asking, are there actions that say hide and show actions, where I could say hide this, show that?
Yep.
I would click. I would show the power off message. I would hide that light bulb. I would show another light bulb that when I click on it, it gives me a congratulations message.
Yeah, so let me do that. I'll on this one. So for example, if we wanted to just do that really quick and add in some text that would be like turn the power off. So this will currently be there for now, but we can hide that. When you click on this, some other actions are, instead of going to a selected step, you can actually mutate or update some of the props, and showing and hiding is one of those. So I don't think
Okay, so the prop, the light bulb is a prop.
Yeah, the light. Yeah. So the light bulb is a prop. The text is a prop. Anything in
Okay,
this scene will be a prop.
that answers my question.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I click on prop 1 and it turns off prop 2. I
Yep.
could also have it show prop 3.
Yep.
And this way, when I go to that power grid, since I've already clicked on the first prop, it's going to hide your electrocuted prop, and it's going to show the congratulations prop, and I could do the whole sequence.
Yep. And I think there will be some like setting, like updating to new environments. So I think to avoid some of this like spaghettiness where you have to you have to know when one prop has been clicked before the other one. The way that we did it is so you didn't have to really worry about that state, is you could just set an environment that's, once you're in this environment, then the power is off and you just know that the power is off. So you can show any props that you want, assuming the power is off. You can kind of think of it like you're in the state of power off. If that makes sense. And that was kind of a decision that we made so that you didn't have to kind of keep track of all those states behind the scene. And we can jump into that too. That is another, so the avatars, you can kind of add in here. We have several pre-made outfits, but you can request more if you need a different uniform or something like that. And I think I know Frank mentioned yesterday that this was really the first set of avatars was designed for performance on the web. So they were designed to be available and are accessible and easily populated on the web. But we'll be adding more different models of avatars and things like that. So we'll be adding more avatar or more assets. So that was
different styles of avatars, and
yeah.
These are the most accessible on the web, and also just across devices, to work and load quickly on any mobile phone. So yeah, you're setting up an animation here.
Yep. So right now you can update the outfit and the animation or the action, and then you can also animate them from one location to another location right now. But we'll be adding in more advanced animation options. Did you have a specific use case in mind you were thinking about the avatars that you're curious about?
No specific use case, but because when I saw it, my eyes opened up. It's like, wow! So I could have a 3D image. So now when I rotate, if I spin this and rotate this, I'll see them from different angles.
Yeah.
That was very interesting, and it makes a more realistic scenario if someone walks into the room, okay, and then stops, and then there could be a text box that pops up. It's like asking a question, and so on and so forth. So it opens up a lot of possibilities for interactive training.
Yeah, we've done a lot of work with different processes and teaching different skills, but there is something about just a human psychology is when a person is in the environment, that's what your eyes go to, and so it does improve engagement to to have some avatars in there. The other thing we could, so he's setting up an animation right now and showing how you can do that, but we can also do that same thing where, like we're clicking the light bulbs or anything like that. You can do that with the avatars as well.
Right, yeah, you can animate text and yeah, the images as well to give some movement to the environment. Yeah, so for example, if I wanted to just kind of add like a little like up and down movement, I can move it up and then make it loop and alternate. So now when we get to this, you'll kind of have some movement to kind of draw the eye. Yeah, I feel like there was another thing kind of as we're building out the events and actions and being able to build more advanced simulations, the avatars are interesting because we can they do have these built-in animations that you can toggle between, like for example, if you if you're doing a conversation, you could prompt some like question, and then the trainee has to respond, and if they pick the wrong answer, you could have the avatar animate in a way that is clearly wrong, or you have like a body language, or show like consequences, like if you don't turn the power if you leave the power on, you could have the in addition to like letting them know to turn the power off, you could animate you can have this be the vehicle to show consequences, and have the avatar maybe run through trying to find it here.
Right. For example, if we were talking about that Easter egg hunt of hazards, where maybe they need to address the different hazards, and let's say they missed cleaning up a spill or tripping hazard, that could cause the person to fall, like he just set up.
Right. Yeah. You could build the story that maybe this character is the one that you're controlling in the scene, and if you don't turn the power off, he unfortunately suffers the consequence.
Yeah, that's really good.
I guess another thing that we didn't, you've had this muted, but you could also, any of these events could trigger sound effects, like, to make it a little more fun. If you clicked that part of the electric substation, it could, make a zapping noise. The person could have made a grunt as they fall, and that just adds to the immersion. Sound effects are often one of those polishing features if you're developing any sort of VR application, or I kind of came from a gaming background. That's one of those things that you can start to get, you've built out a lot of it, and sometimes people forget to add sound effects, and then when you do, it's kind of amazing the effect it can have. The other thing with the sound effects, because we're working in this 360 space, is they can have positional audio. So if you have headphones on, or if you're in the VR headset, you can kind of tell, oh, it's to my left, or it's behind me. So that can be interesting if you're doing something like diagnosing a problem, and there's a, let's say we're working with heavy equipment and you're hearing a rattling under the front left wheel or something, that would guide you towards diagnosing that problem. So that opens up some possibilities as well.
Yeah, I could change this to maybe
David just asked that about this built-in library of assets, as well as a place to upload assets yourself. And yes, so yesterday we covered that this is part of our TransferThought 1.0 launch, so that we added an asset mega bundle. Ideally, so anyone, we have a free tier that everyone can sign up for. You should be able to get on here and be able to create things of value without the need for any equipment. But if you had like a 360 camera, you can take your own photorealistic photos of an actual environment and upload them and use them. Same thing with, even without a 360 camera, you could take photos of objects or locations, people, and add them as cutouts in the scene to augment the scene without ever going into Photoshop or anything like that. So to answer your question, yes, you both have access to a library of built-in content and can upload your own content.
Great, thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah.
I think we've covered a lot of the high level stuff that we wanted to hit today. We'll be continually there. We do have a list of documentation on how to use a lot of this, and we'll be continuing adding new tips and tricks in there. Another thing is, this is 1.0. There'll be a 1.1, a 1.2. We're always listening to feedback. Would love to hear the features you want to see. So always feel free to reach out to us.
Thank you for joining us on Day 3 Simulation Sandbox.